So today's video is looking at acoustic guitar setup. I actually have a gig this weekend that is all acoustic. So not even bringing an electric guitar at all. And we don't talk a whole lot about acoustic setup. We did a series on it a little while ago, but let's just go over some brief stuff. It's all kind of the same. The measurements are a little bit different, but there's a couple of key differences with an acoustic guitar over an electric guitar with setup. And one of the main things I want to talk about is string action. Okay, so on a acoustic guitar, you set the action differently than you do on an electric. When we look at our neck relief on an acoustic, let's hold down the first fret and hold down the string where it adjoins the body, and we look about halfway in between and we say, do we like that gap? I like that gap right here. I like that setup on this guitar. I'm not even going to mess with that. That is the playing surface of the guitar. That is not the action. It does affect how high the strings can be off of the fretboard, but it is not the action. Okay? The action, string height, which would really be the more accurate term for it, would be the height of the saddle down here. Now, here's the thing. Let me grab an electric guitar really quick. There's all kinds of different ways that you can set string height on an electric guitar. On this particular one, it's these thumb wheels right here. And that moves this bridge up and down. That doesn't have anything to do with the neck relief. The neck relief is a product of the tension of the strings and the guitar working all together. So that is set first, and then later you set the action on the guitar. Well, on an electric guitar, you just raise and lower the saddles right here. On an acoustic guitar, this saddle right here, that needs to actually be filed down. So it's not as adjustable. The thing is, most of the time, you're not going to need to move this after you've set the guitar up. If you have a really good setup guy when you buy a new guitar, you can have him set the neck relief here, okay? And then he can then look at the string height and take the strings off the guitar, file down the bottom of the saddle, make sure that it's flat, make sure that it doesn't have anything wonky about it. You put it back in, put the strings back on the guitar, and everything should be fine. And that should really never move as long as you keep the correct humidity and everything going and take care of and store your guitar correctly. Anyway, I've got a gig this weekend, so I like to take this thing about once a year and just go through it and make sure and double check the measurements and everything and make sure. And of course on this guitar, you know, if you follow our other series, I've had a whole bunch of different strings on here, different tensions and stuff like that. So now that I've had these strings on here, I've been using the same Ernie Ball aluminum bronze for the last 3 or 4 months now. Everything's kind of settled out, but I just wanted to make sure. I don't play this guitar enough. That before I go out and play it Saturday night, that it's honestly sorted out the way I want it to be. Okay, so a couple things are about to happen. You know that I've been running these Ernie Ball aluminum bronzes on this guitar, and they sound fantastic. But one of the things I don't like about them is I don't play this guitar a lot, and aluminum in any situation will corrode this chalkiness to it, and so it makes it kind of grippy, and you get this, like, I don't know, I just don't like how they slide. And this thing I'm doing Saturday, I basically play an electric guitar. I play acoustic guitar like I play electric. See, and it's just, I don't know. So I'm gonna go ahead and change these strings. We'll get that done later today. But first, let me take a selfie. But first, I want to try something that I've never done before. I have the Kemper, and I went over here and I basically turned off the amplifier section, and I'm only using just the EQ and the effects section of it, and I'm going to use this more or less as a DI straight into the board because I want to be able to run some effects. And so let me show you what I'm talking. So basically what I've got here is just a little delay. compression. Hear how squeaky those strings are? I just don't like them. So there's that. What I have down here is when we go ahead and press this button, it toggles between the compressor that's on now and a little like a clean level boost. So that I can solo with the acoustic, which is really cool. The other thing I have going on here just that little bit of slap back. I've got this one set up to where when I click this, it switches from a delay to a tremolo. And then back to a delay because I won't ever probably use those at the same time. And then I've got some kind of a fun one here. This is like this weird modulation. And then kind of the big deal is that we play this kind of cowpunk stuff. So it's basically like, it's more or less like old school country stuff, but we play it hard, usually plugged in, gnarly, super loud. And this is an acoustic gig, but I wanted to kind of meet it in the middle somewhere. So I'm running a TS9 type circuit over an acoustic guitar, and it sounds crazy. I actually probably won't use it for lead stuff. I'll actually just use it for like this weird dirty rhythm thing. And I think I'm really super stoked about this. So using the Kemper for my acoustic stuff is kind of fun. So we'll see what happens. I've never done it like this before. The fun part about it is I could actually just go to a couple of clicks and then go to an electric guitar if I wanted to. For this particular deal, I'm probably not going to, but it's just kind of cool to have that option. And I'm not going to bring any speakers. Nothing. It's going to just go straight to the house. And, you know, because you normally would just, you know, like when you play like a bar gig, you just tune it, you know, just plugging this into the PA anyway. So basically I'm just going to put this in between the guitar and the PA and then be able to control it all. I think this would be super fun. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. I'm going to try it. We're going to practice tonight and we'll see how it goes, but super fun. If I don't end up using it, that's okay too, but it's just something that I've always wanted to try was the acoustic guitar rig with the Kemper, and I've always wanted to play that like chunky rhythm overdrive with an acoustic. So this is going to let me do it. So let's go ahead and go put some strings on this thing. Done. Put the strings on it, huge difference. Just way more playable for me anyway. So I ended up putting the John Pierce strings on it, and they're amazing. They're louder than the other ones. So one of the things when you change strings to even a different brand, remember that every brand of strings is going to have a little bit different tension. I got away with it with this set, but if I were to go to what I had on there before, like the Ernie Ball aluminum bronzes, and switch to like elixirs, chances are I would add to adjust the truss rod a little bit. The tension difference between brands can be pretty big. You can go to like the brand's website and you can actually see, like, compare low E strings, compare G strings, and you'll see that they're not always consistent. A few pounds doesn't matter because usually one string will have a little bit more, but maybe one string will have a little bit less in comparison to another brand. Doesn't make a big deal. But a lot of times, if it all changes, you'll have to adjust the truss rod. I did not have to in this case. So I think we're good. So thanks for hanging out for a few minutes. I tell you what, let's go ahead and look at some viewer comments and tell you about some other stuff I got going on. Okay, couple things. Spoiler alert, it's actually Monday. I'm editing this video right now. I'm about to release, I know it's a little late, I'm sorry. I'm about to release it in about a few minutes as soon as I get done shooting this and throwing it on the end of the video. I had the gig Saturday night. The Kemper was amazing. It was super fun. It sounded great. We'll probably put some little clips of videos on Facebook and stuff. It wasn't enough. I didn't shoot enough to like put it on YouTube. But if you go to our Facebook page, you'll probably be able to see some of that stuff. Dude, playing a Kemper with an acoustic was absolutely a blast. I'm going to do it again. We'll probably make another video about this. I really, really love it. Okay, so that's cool. Spoiler alert at the end of this video. It was amazing. Because that video was shot this video was shot last week. I played it Friday night, now it's Monday, etc. Amazing. Next thing, we picked our next project guitar. I bought a Les Paul from Stratosphere, one of those ones that's bare, that doesn't have any pickups in it or anything. And that guitar will be here tomorrow. So on Tuesday, I'm hoping, look for the notifications on your YouTube, because Tuesday, January 15th, I hope to do a live unboxing of that on YouTube. So if it comes in UPS like it's supposed to and everything's cool, on January 15th, I hope to do a live unboxing of that guitar, and then we'll talk about the project that we're gonna do with it. Really super cool. I don't do Les Paul stuff that much, so I'm kind of really excited about it. Let's look at 3 comments from previous videos. I think these are super funny. I can't remember actually what videos they came from, so we're just going to take them at face value and laugh and have a good time together. Jay says, that intro is so fake, nobody wants to sound like Nickelback. Actually, I think that was a video about how to pick guitar pickups or something. You know, somebody might want to sound like Nickelback. Wally G3 says, you can get a cheap jig to set new pinholes for tuners. It takes 15 minutes. I've done that on 3 Squires. It works well, and it makes them compatible with all modern Fender tuners. Yes, you can use a jig, so you don't have to grind off the pins like I did in mine. We'll leave a link to that jig in the description of the video, of this video. It is not a cheap tool. It's like 40-50 bucks. So that means that if it's something that you want to do more than once, yeah, it's a great idea. You can get that jig, and it makes you drill the holes in the perfect place, everything. It's awesome. The reason we didn't include it is because the tool was a little expensive for a first timer, and I didn't want to worry about a permanent like modification to the guitar, where this is still kind of reversible. Is kind of the reason I went that direction. All right, and then lastly, Douglas Jardine says, I turned down for more twang. So hashtag turn down for twang, I guess. We will see you in the next video.